What is up, y'all? How is it going? We're going to be doing the Pro Expert Guide for the upcoming Fall Major Tournament. And in this video, we're going to talk about play from the second tee. We'll talk about different routes, the balls and clubs you may want to use or consider using. And we'll also talk about some elevation that you may see in this tournament. Now, last time we had this same exact course, I brought home the double gold in Expert and Pro. And hopefully we get some of those same wins and some of those same shots will work again. And we'll see if we can maybe get on track again in this tournament. At the bottom of this page, you will see some of my social media contacts if you would like to follow me or get a hold of me on social media. So my Facebook, if you want to follow me on the Twitter or Snapchat, those are my names on those platforms. And if you are watching this video and never seen me before, I have a community page on Facebook called Golf Clash the 19th Hole. We just hit like 7,000 members the other day, so definitely come on down, become a member, and partake in the extensive knowledge that you have there at your fingertips. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and get started here in just a second on hole number one. All right. Here we go, starting off with hole number one, and this is a hole that we have seen many different times. It seems like this is like our third or fourth time seeing it. I guess this would be maybe our fourth time seeing it in a tournament, and this is one of the more commonly used eagle holes when it comes to using them in tournaments. So, you have a few different options playing it to the left or to the right. You can go for the big power curl shot, as well, or you try to land it here and bounce it off this fairway and up and down. That's probably one of the more difficult ways to play this hole and more inconsistent. But if you can hit it, it has a really big payout. Normally, that's going to require like an APOC 5 plus with a berserker ball, and it's just full topspin, a little bit of left spin or right spin depending on the wind, and just one of those kind of cross your fingers and pray type of shots. But sometimes it does work. It has worked for me. Another way that people like to play this hole is to the right-hand side, and it's plus 20% going downhill. And really, we're just trying to blast this shot as far down the fairway as we can. We want to get as far down the fairway as we can because we want to stay out of from behind those trees to give us a nice, easy shot towards the hole. That second shot would be plus 10% on the elevation. So, I definitely would be suggesting going with like a kingmaker here on that shot because you want to be able to cut down the wind for that second shot and give yourself the absolute best chance to try to sink that shot for the eagle. The Goliath would be a good club to use if you can get far enough down. Then we're talking about Hornet and Thorn, and that just kind of becomes, whichever one of those two you do prefer to use, in the end. Other option would be go to the left-hand side here, through these trees, hit the rough, and then trickle out and roll down here. Hopefully this area. From there, it's a plus 10% shot, either bouncing it over here or landing it on this side with a lot of backspin towards the hole. Do keep in mind that this green does funnel back to the hole, and there is a slight funnel on the back edge of that green if you can find it and take advantage of that. Speaking of which, there is another route that you can play, which is kind of like laying up your shot short in this area right here, and then playing a sniper shot to the fringe and allowing that funnel to take over. I haven't played that shot a whole lot. I've heard some people talking about it, and it's definitely something to keep in mind as well when you are trying to decide how you just plan on attacking this hole. But in the end, it comes down to what kind of a wind will we have, and how will you decide to play this hole in the opening round and qualifying. So, all right, moving on to our second hole. Here we go. We got a par 3, and plus 30% is going to be the elevation for this tee shot. I think that the only real way to play this hole is going to be the sniper rough bump here, where you're bumping it in the rough. I feel like the closer you get to that edge, the better chance you have to find that funnel to the hole. And I would definitely recommend bringing a katana ball at least with side spin 3 In my opinion, side spin 3 is a great ball to use. You could also use some wind resistance balls with at least a side spin 2, side spin 3 as well, and you could go for it that way. I'd say side spin 2 would be the minimum to bring. So if, when you're looking at your wind resistance balls and that's all you have is side spin 2, then that may be your best bet. But if you do have one with side spin 3, that may be a great way to go at it as well. So the amount of topspin and backspin you use on this shot is really definitely going to depend on the wind that we have. If we have some sort of a tailwind, you're not going to be using as much topspin. You're going to be looking at more of that backspin area. If you have a side wind, it's going to be kind of in the middle. And if we have a headwind, then you're definitely going to be using some sort of topspin on that shot to roll that shot out of the rough. We've had the shot many times, and it's been a shot that's been able to be dialed in each time. So definitely keep your eyes in the community and see how people are playing it, and hopefully we'll get that one figured out as well in this tournament as well, and give you a really good chance to ace it as well in your round. Sorry about that. All right, moving on. Hole number 3. This hole right here, this is the second time we've seen this. The last time we saw this was in the last fall major tournament. So if we get a tailwind, then we can fly over this rough up at the fairway. If we don't get a tailwind and we get some sort of a headwind or a side wind, and maybe you have lower level drivers, then you may have to jump your shot from the rough, in which case then you want to bring your club with the most amount of topspin possible to be able to get that shot up this next fairway as possible. You really want to be up in this area right here to have a second shot towards the hole with a long iron. If you do end up a little bit farther back, then you will be looking at a wood club. I would bring a club that has lots of backspin on it. Personally, I think going at the hole is one of the best ways to go at this one. But you can play a shot where you just kind of play the back edge of this green and to try to get to the top of the hole and then let the ball funnel back to the hole as well. And that is another option. For the drive, I play 0%. For the second shot, I play plus 10%. No matter where I'm at playing the ball. Now, if we have some sort of like a right to left side wind or tailwind, then there may be a curl shot opportunity here to play it to the left and trying to get that shot up into here, right here, to give yourself a nice sniper shot towards the hole as well. And that may also be an option if we get the wind that is favorable for a shot to the left. And that would be some sort of a like an APOC curl, or maybe a Thor power curl. Or even extra mile power curl for that matter. Possibly even quarterback, just depending on what kind of wind we have. So definitely don't completely write that out of the playbook yet. That's definitely still an option. And I would play that the same, 0% on the drive, and then I'd play plus 10% on the second shot towards the green that way as well. So, we're looking at playing it to the right side. You may have to bump up your ball level just to be able to make that shot over the rough, and I think it would be worth going for that shot to get yourself up there within long iron distance of the hole. I think long iron distance gives you one of the better opportunities to drop the shot. So going with a premium ball, if necessary, is worth it in my opinion on this hole. Hole number 4 is next, par 3. This one right here, we're playing with a plus 10% off the tee box. And you're looking at a shot that's going to bounce right here, or even maybe a rough bump right there. The rough bump would be a sniper rough bump. The shot bouncing over the bunker would either be a Goliath or B-52, depending on the wind. If you had a side wind or some sort of a headwind, or a tailwind, it's going to be a Goliath. If we have a headwind, then it's going to be a sniper. So let me repeat that. I think I might have said it wrong. If you have a side wind or a headwind, then it's going to be some sort of maybe a sniper. If you have a side tailwind, then it's going to be the Goliath. So the way that we're going to play this one would be, if we're playing it with the long iron, we're going to use somewhere around probably 1-2 bars of backspin, bouncing it over the bunker, landing right here on the fringe, and then rolling it towards the hole. If you're having to play the shot with some sort of a wood club, then probably you're looking at somewhere around 3 to 5 bars of backspin on that shot, and hopefully trying to roll it towards the hole. I would definitely recommend at least a side spin 2 ball at minimum, but I really like this shot with a side spin 3 ball. So I really like the Kingmaker here on this hole particularly. Maybe Katana and Pro, Kingmaker and Expert is the way I would go as far as ball selection goes. Another hole we got is hole 5, and this one right here. You know, in the Pro, if we get a tailwind, you're going to be going with a driver with a lot of topspin, and I would definitely say this is another hole where you could use a premium ball if you needed to get your shot better. You want to land your shot somewhere in this zone right here with enough topspin and you know, not too much right spin, but enough spin to direct the shot up this fairway and hopefully with enough momentum to roll down this hill into this fairway section right there. From there, you'll have a very short wedge chip. If for some reason we don't get the wind in the Pro to play that shot, then you're just going to want to play a shot up into this zone right here. And then your second shot down to the hole is going to be plus 30%, and we have 0% on the drive for that hole. So now on the Expert, you know, we have the same type of shot where we can try to roll it through the fairway and down to the hole that way. We also have the safe shot where you can play it here and then down to the hole. But then we also have a power curl shot where we come out here around the trees, come back into this zone right here, and take the shot down towards the hole. That shot right there is going to be one of those shots that needs dialed in once the tournament starts, and we see what kind of a wind we had. Last time I had this tournament in this hole, in the last fall major, we had a shot where we had basically, here's a tree that was over here that we just aimed at, and we didn't use a whole lot of spin. It was like 1 top spin, 2 right spin, but it worked out just perfectly, and the ball came in, hit this hill, and rolled back down to the hole, and I mean, it was like a gimme putt. I mean, it was beautiful. So if you go back and watch my double feature from the last fall major, and I'll try to put its link in the description, there's my back 9 on my Expert and my back 9 on my Pro. There's some really good content. Like I said, they were both gold medal winning rounds. So definitely that may be something good to go back and watch and get some really good ideas on how to play these holes from each of those divisions from their individual standpoints, not just an overall, you know, overview view like I'm talking here. So yes, definitely a fun hole to play. And you know, you want that proper amount of topspin and curl to be able to make that shot work. So Thor, APOC, Extra Mile, definitely all strong clubs here for that hole. Hole number 6. This one right here, plus 20% off the drive. And you know, we're trying to bounce it off this fairway and get it up this fairway as far as we can to get ourselves in contention for a chance for the Sniper Rough Bump. So the Sniper Rough Bump, I went back and watched my video when I dropped it in the last fall major. I played minus 15%. So I'm gonna say minus 10 to minus 15% for the rough bump here. And that could definitely change depending on the wind we had. I think I had like a strict tailwind on that shot, so we played minus 15%. If we have some sort of a side wind, then we're going to be playing more at the minus 10%. But you're going to drop the shot off the rough right there with, like, you know, 3 bars of topspin to roll it to the hole. And I would try to get that shot dialed in to a point where you don't have to play the offset. So mess around with the elevations, try to figure out a way to get that shot dialed in without having to work with an offset, because, I don't know, offsets on this hole just don't seem to work too well. So I would be playing this one with either a power 3 or power 4 ball, depending on your division and your wind. If you do have some sort of a side headwind in the Expert, then power 4 ball is definitely a ball worth spending to get yourself in position for that Albatross attempt. This is a hole where you want to run at the Albatross and at least give yourself a chance to drop it. The safe way to play this hole is going to be playing it to the right side with a driver with a lot of curl. Basically, you're just going to come off the tee box with curl, bounce it in the fairway with top spin, right spin, roll it up this fairway to here. This is not a chance at the Albatross, but this is definitely a great chance at the Eagle if you're worried about this rough or your accuracy of using overpower on your drive going to the left-hand side. So your options from here are either to play the shot with a rough bump here, or take a guardian or one of your other longer woods out around the trees to the right with a lot of curl, backspin, and left spin. You're going to bounce it off this slope that slopes down from right to left, and then that backspin and left spin will bounce it towards the hole. Either you'll have an easy putt or an easy chip for your eagle there on that shot. So playing it that way, I would play that shot at -10 or +10% going to the right-hand side for the second shot. All right, next hole is hole number 7. This par 3, wow, this par 3. This is a tough par 3 to play, y'all. So in the pro and the expert, you got two choices. You can either play your shot off the fairway to the right-hand side, or you can play your shot off the fairway to the left-hand side. If you're playing the shot to the left, you're going to be playing this one at +10%. It's going to be +10% on both sides. So +10% left or right. And in my opinion, I like playing it to the right side. But if you want to play the shot to the left-hand side, you're going to need to use a wood with at least a minimum of 4 bars of backspin. And, you know, club-wise, I like the sniper, but some people do like the guardian here on this hole as well. You definitely also want to have a side spin 3-ball because you're going to use that right side spin on this shot for sure. You're also going to be using some curl on your shot. I would say probably about 1 ball of curl on this shot. And, you know, if you can get the shot to come in correctly, the ball is going to slope up the hill and then fall back down to the hole. And that's the way you're playing this shot right here, is around and then come back down and slope back down to the hole. It's a great way to play to guarantee yourself the birdie, in my opinion, and you may also get lucky and drop it in for the ace as well. Now, playing it to the right side, which is more of the preferred way that I like to play the hole, you know, I like to, hopefully we get like a side wind or a headwind where we can play the sniper shot. If we have some sort of a tailwind, then we're going to be looking at more of a Goliath shot. But no matter how we play it, we want this shot to bounce over right here on the fringe of the green, roll up, and then back down to the hole that way. And the best way to play that shot is going to be with really not using much spin at all. I think there's a bit of a funnel back there on the green, so you might want to move that ball guide around a little bit until you kind of find that funnel. And if anything, you know, you're going to use maybe a little bit of backspin and a little bit of right spin or left spin, depending on the wind direction that we have on that shot. But yeah, the best thing to do is try to use this shadow down here on these trees to your advantage and try to find a landing zone that correlates, that matches up your rings to those shadows so that you can, you know, very quickly locate your spot each time you play this hole. And, you know, just kind of use those rings and that shadow as a point to use, you know, for setting up your shot. And that's what we did in the last tournament that we had this hole. All right, hole number 8. Oh yeah, hole number 8. I love this hole. So playing hole number 8, you know, really, you gotta go for the green here on this hole. The best way to play for the green here on this hole is to play your driver off that spot right there, especially in the rookie. You know, the big topper, or if you have a higher level Thor, those are great options. If you do have an extra mile and that's all you got, then that's what you got. What you want to do is your first shot wants to bounce there through these trees. You want to hit the rough here and then trickle out and roll onto the fairway. From there, you have a straight on little chip for the eagle. Now, I would play this hole at 0% off the tee box. If you want to play shots to the right here or to the left here off the tee box, playing it safe, then you're going to be playing those second shots at plus 30% down to the hole. So plus 30% on that second shot if you're going for the conservative safe shot. You take yourself out of contention for the eagle for the most part by playing those shots, though. So I think really the only thing we should be talking about here is the shot through the trees, especially for the pro and even for the expert here in this division. Now, I had a shot in the last tournament where I used the APOC 5, and I was aiming for my landing zone right here. So that kind of put my rings out in this zone right here. And I was just kind of eyeballing my landing zone off the left-hand side of that circle. So from there, then I was going 15 rings adjustment to the right and not using my full power curl. And if you go onto the 19th hole, I do have a video of this shot, and in the comments there's actually a video of the setup for the actual tutorial for the shot. I'll try to remember to put those in the comment section, in the description section of this video, so that you can go and watch those if you want. But it was an ace shot. I aced the shot. Any of the times I didn't ace it, I was really close. And you can see me play that shot in the actual double feature video that I played the weekend round here on this course last time. But it was definitely a thing of beauty. And I'm sure there are other clubs that you could use to play that shot as well. You're really just trying to, curl a shot out, hit it land here. You're going to use a little bit of top spin, a little bit of back spin and left spin. You want the shot to bounce over, hit this fairway here, and then either roll to the hole or past the hole and then back down. Even if you end up on the fairway sections here, that works as well. But it's definitely a really cool shot, and I think it's just a shot that requires a good amount of curl. But you could also play that shot probably with the Thor as well, or even maybe the extra mile, because I didn't really use that much curl. I think I used like one ball to like 3/4 of a ball of curl on the shot. So definitely go watch the video, see what you think, and just keep that in mind for when we do get the hole in the tournament. All right, playing this shot now on hole number 9. You can play the shot to the left, and if you're going to play the shot to the left, let me check what time it is. All right, I'm good on time. If you can play the shot to the left, you definitely want to be playing with a driver that's going to get you a lot of distance. So we're going to play somewhere between 0 to plus 5% elevation change for the shot to the left. And if we get a tailwind, we can try to go over the rough. If we don't get a good wind, then we can bounce it before the rough. Our end goal is to use as much topspin as we can to project this shot up this fairway as far as we can. The farther, the better for your second shot. Now for the second shot, 15 to 20% is going to be your elevation change. And if you have the like a straight tailwind, I would go more with the 20. If you have more of a side wind, then I go with more with the 15%. So you can either go with the rough bump here, where you bump it off the rough and towards the hole, or you could go with a guardian shot where you hit off this fairway with backspin towards the hole. You can also use that slope on the back of the green to go towards the hole that way. Lots of great options on that second shot. Now, if you're going to play the shot to the right, plus 10% on the drive, you're most likely not going to be able to play a rough bump here unless you get a really nice tailwind. So basically what we had last time was we had a shot with backspin and left spin that landed here, and then we just kind of rolled it up the fairway to this zone right here. It was a really nice shot. It was really safe, and it was one of the shots that was good with a great left or great right. So from there, then you have a second shot with your sniper over the rough here. We landed it here. What we were doing was we were going through the hole, up the hill, and then back down. There was like a perfect funnel. And as long as you missed just left or just right of the hole, you had a really good chance to drop that shot. And I can't remember what it was. The last time we had this hole in a tournament, I dropped this shot on the very last shot of the match. But I'm trying to remember what tournament that was. I think it was the was it the mountain tournament? It might have been the mountain tournament. I can't remember now. I'm trying to remember. Let me see if I have my sheet here, and I can pull it up and say, "Ooh, what happened?" Let's see. It was what tournament was that? It was the Great Outdoor Tournament. So if you want to see that shot performed, go watch my weekend round from the Great Outdoor Tournament. It was the very last shot I took in the video, so it should be easy to find. I would play that shot at somewhere around minus 5%, on the landing. And we'll see what kind of a wind we have. Hopefully we get the same type of wind. Just remember, depending on how you are going to be adjusting that shot for the wind, if you have to adjust it back towards the rough, then you're going to want to push up your shot a little bit. If you're adjusting to the right, then you're going to want to pull back your shot a little bit, because we will be adjusting into different elevations. So you need to make those slight adjustments for that shot. And man, it's just, I hope we get the same type of winds, because it would be awesome to just be able to pick up from where we left off on that shot from the last time. the shot playing to the right in the Expert, you know, I really like playing with the APOC. You could also play it probably with the Thor as well. And I played it with the Kingmaker ball. So the Kingmaker ball is how I would play that shot. You could also play the shot to the left-hand side, particularly probably in the Pro, if you don't have a driver enough to get over that rough, with maybe a big topper where you bounce it here before the rough and then you roll up as far as you can with the big topper. And that would definitely be a way to play that shot. All right, y'all. That is the guide for Pro and Expert. Like I said, I'm going to put a bunch of links in the description of this video that will connect you to first the last year's Fall Major for my Pro and Expert weekend back 9, which both ended up as gold finishes. And I will put a video of the whole 8 or the whole 7 or whole 8 power curl shot. I'll put a video of me acing it and then one of the tutorial of it. And then we'll also see what else we can find and put in that description for you all. Just a good treasure trove of content is what we will try to put in the description for you all. So, all right, thank you all very much. Hit that thumbs up on the way out if you enjoyed the video. Check out the channel. Definitely visit us on the 19th hole on Facebook. And y'all have a good day and God bless.